Alright, so we're down in our lower pasture here. I have the older boys helping me. I have all the berries laid out to where I want them. Yes, it is a hodgepodge. There are no rows. They're not equidistant from each other, and I don't care. That's how I want it to be in my blueberry patch down here. So anyway, right now I'm digging holes. The older boys are filling the dirt back in around the bushes. So just gonna do some more of that here.
I haven't been getting any water.
How many?
No. Got 36, 38 of these to do, guys. 30 something. No.
How many have we done?
9.
What?
10 or 6, 8. We've done 10. So down here in our back pasture, we've been planting blueberry plants down here. My boys helped me a few days ago, and we got quite a few of our blueberry plants in the ground, but we couldn't finish up that day. We had 2 more varieties to plant. We had the Duke variety, which we have I think 9 of those, and then we have 3 of the blue crop to plant as well. And then I just got 2 more from Gurney's. I just opened the box yesterday. These are the mini blues jumbo. So in all I have 12, 13, 14 more blueberry plants to get in the ground. So I'm gonna work on that right now and hopefully get these growing. I just wanted to show you the hole that I just dug here. You can see the ground is quite wet. And we've mentioned before, there's actually a pretty high water table back here. The previous owners told us they never have to water, and you can see how green it is. I mean, yes, it's springtime, everything is green, but even in the late summer and early fall, this is still green because there's a high water table. So when we were digging over here, the ground wasn't quite as wet, but we're right where we are right here is actually a little dip. I don't know if you can, probably can't tell on the camera, but we're even just a few inches shorter, lower down than we are from right over there. And so the soil here is a lot wetter. And when I was planting those berries right over there, the ground was really quite wet. So the blueberries won't necessarily mind having wet feet as long as the soil that they're in is actually a little well draining. So they should do okay here, and I'll be planting lots of other trees. I'm going to plant trees and bushes intermixed with the blueberries. And so this should take care of a lot of the really wet ground that we have. And over there it's actually quite marshy wet, like your foot swishes around when you step there. So we're gonna have to really plan for trees and bushes that don't mind wet feet at all over there, like a willow. We're planning on at least one willow tree over there. So anyway, I also wanted to talk about how I'm planting these. People will say you need to put peat moss down with it because they like acidic oil, and the peat moss will help maintain or retain water, which obviously we don't need it for water purposes. As far as for the acidic soil, I am just planting them as is, and then I'm going to come along later with a package of peat moss and maybe even some lime. I'm going to read up on lime again just to make sure, but I'm just going to come along and put some peat moss around the plants after I've planted them, and sprinkle some lime to mix it into the ground a little bit, and eventually the acidicness of the peat moss and the lime will seep down to where the roots will get it. But I'm not concerned about doing that as I'm planting them. I just wanted to show you the soil may be wet, but it is very rich soil, very fertile soil, and we've got tons of worms. There's one here, there's one here, lots of worms. Another one right here. You just break it open, and there's worm after worm. Right here, there, right there, right there. Love it. You might be wondering about my planting technique as far as placement, and I really have no strict order that I'm doing in. I don't want them to be in a row because I want it to be more natural feeling, like, oh, a blueberry field sprang up here, or whatever. A blueberry plant started growing here by, naturally, by the bird dropping a seed or whatever. And I just want paths going throughout the berry bushes. I want them to be far enough apart so that we can pick around them. Far enough apart to plant maybe some other things in between them. No rhyme or reason, excepting I want them to be at least 3 to 5 feet apart so that we can walk between them and harvest. You might be able to see these roots on this particular one. They're really starting to get a little bit root bound. So I just come along and I tease it a little bit, kind of stretch those roots out. Help spur them into growing some more. I think I mentioned this before, but I am planting them in groups according to what variety they are. I had wanted to do them just spread out, but it kind of makes sense. If you like a certain type, you want to have all that type together so you can pick them. But again, they're bunched together without other blueberries, but there will be other plants and trees and stuff in between them. Like right in here, I'll probably plant maybe a rhubarb bush or a tree or something. I'm just filling in the dirt around the plant where I stuck it in, where the branches come out here. I don't want the soil to come above that. It needs to be level with the ground around it. Eventually I'm going to come along and I'm going to lay cardboard around all of the berry bushes and then cover it with wood chips, mulch. It'll help kill the grass that's around them, because this is just a pasture grass that they had growing for their cows. So obviously I don't want that growing in my food forest. I didn't want to, plow the field up and just have a bunch of mud all around. I figured the cardboard and the mulch over the plants would eventually just take care of it. And in the meantime, we can have grass covering the soil so it's keeping its nutrients rather than losing soil due to wind erosion or water erosion. Probably been noticing too that I'm using bottles of water to water these with. We have a stream right over there in the corner, but I don't have irrigation to be able to get the water out, and we're too far from the irrigation pumps at our other stream. So we just bring out some bottles of water. I fill these up first at home, and then if I run out, then I'll fill them up in the stream here. I am a little bit leery about it because our irrigation rights actually come from that creek up there and not this creek, but I'm not sure there's anybody who's going to complain for us taking out a few gallons of water to water our blueberries. This isn't going to be a consistent thing. Obviously the ground is wet enough here that we don't need to worry about watering them overly much. I probably wouldn't even worry about it, except the potted plants were getting a little bit dry, and I want the soil to settle in around the plant so that there's no air pockets. So that's about the only reasons I'm actually watering these right now. And there we have it. All of our blueberries are in. I think except my pink lemonade. I think I left my pink lemonade blueberry to plant up in my upper food forest. And I'll probably get some other blueberries to plant up there too. But the beginnings of my food forest, peoples. It's kind of hard to see from here. But there's blueberry bushes out there. I'm so excited to see it taking shape, and I look forward to getting more trees out here. And I just want to thank you for coming along and watching and just kind of joining this journey with us. I really appreciate all the comments people make and all the viewers out there and all the people who have liked the videos. So that's it for today. Probably Friday I'll start planting some of the trees. So tomorrow's Thursday, tomorrow's a busy day for me, so I won't be able to. So we will see you later with another video on forming our food forest.